Howdy folks, Eric here, back with another standard video. Today, playing Brightglass Control. It's been a little while since I played this list. Right when Lorwyn Eclipsed came out, I think was the last time I did a video on it. Not much has changed as far as introducing new cards like TMNT, etc., but playing a slightly different package today for card advantage. We're on a couple Icehill Explorers, just making use of the fact that we're already starting on a playset of Fabled Passage, and then doing the Esper Origins thing on top of that. So keeping it at 2 Icehill, 4 Esper Origins. The Icehills will be good, but not too clunky. Really give us an extra sort of big top end that synergizes really nicely with the Earthbender Ascensions that we're already playing. The idea here is basically it's a control deck, I guess, but mostly it's a ramp deck that has a really resilient top end with the combination of a playset of Bossing Say, along with a couple of Valgavoth Slayer. A Valgavoth Slayer, an enchantment land, has hexproof, and if you earthbend it, you get a hexproof creature. Not a whole lot of hexproof creatures running around in standard. I mean, there's the new like leatherback card, which is pretty cool. 26 lands, 4 board wipes in the main, lots of removal, and cutting down to just 2 Phenomena Recorder. I know, sorry, Otter Jones, great card, but it can clog up your hand a little bit in your openers, and we can just find them off the Gear Hulk when we want them. And by the time we want them, it's typically a late game scenario anyway, where we have the mana to support it. It's not bad turn 3, right, doing the Fabled Passage fetch thing to be able to ramp, but outside of that, I think just sticking on 2 is fine. And then I was trying to think, is there a good replacement for Insidious Fungus? Because a lot of Prowess in the meta right now. I feel like it's not necessarily great in that matchup, but outside of that, I can imagine it'd be pretty good. Blows up Earthbender Ascensions and Sapling Nurseries. Also hits Roaming Throne, kind of interesting. We'll see if that comes up. Otherwise, yeah, fun list. The idea here being we just play to the board, control the board, and have a much better top end than our opponents, hopefully. As far as the sideboard goes, a lot of fun of options for the Gear Hulk to find. A couple Voice of Victory, couple Authority of the Councils for the Prowess matchup. A little extra instant speed removal. We have a playset of Aang's Iceberg in the main, which is instant speed removal, right? A couple extra board wipes, couple Pick Your Poisons. Very grindy list. So, gonna hop into a traditional standard event today. Expect it to be pretty long, if I had to guess. We'll see if we can get a 5-0. Alright, match 1 on the play. Got a mulligan this. Okay, I mean, this is certainly playable. We do need to hit a 3rd land, but we have a fungus to be able to dig a little deeper. Probably just skip on the... Probably just fine to skip on the Day of Judgment here. Although blind... Let's put back the Aang's Iceberg, I think. We'll lead on the Fabled Passage here. I don't love it necessarily, but this is the best thing to do if we draw an extra land. Hired Claw, okay. Feeling okay about this matchup. A lot of Seam Rips in the main. Full set of Seam Rips. You know what I didn't even consider? There's that new Dimensional Exile card from TMNT that I bet is pretty good in this list, actually. We have a lot of removal as it is, but kind of does exactly what we want. Let's go for the Seam Rip and play a Fungus here. Just start deploying. Would love to hit a Forest. I think we'd be pretty much just off to the races if we hit a Forest. But I settled on the Esper Origins idea. I wanted more card advantage. I feel like the built-in life gain piece is really nice. It becomes like the best top deck late game once you start once you have enough mana to support just like casting it and flashing it back immediately. Just kind of smooths everything out. But I like this plan because we can commit to the board and we can, like, we have a pretty nice proactive plan with the Earthbender Ascension, but we also don't mind wiping the board. Because we'll just get our land back. It's not like a huge deal, right? And the late game power of 1 or 2 Earthbender Ascensions just, like, eventually, it just gives us that inevitability. You could definitely probably play Sapling Nursery. Our planes count is probably just too high, but you could do the more go off the Gear Hulk thing and go on the Sapling Nurseries and support it that way. I mean, you see a lot of like Selesnya landfall lists online doing that sort of thing, so not a particularly new idea. But But I like this plan because it gives us... First off, I just like Brightglass Gear Hulk, but in a meta where I think Seam Rip is pretty good again, with all the Prowess running around, being able to access Seam Rip, like, late game, just Brightglass into double Seam Rip, wins a lot of matches. Opponent taking a second here. Maybe disconnected. They just passed through. That's weird. We draw a card. Well, might as well go ahead and get the Scouring Storm Soul on the field. It's pretty big. We can kind of be the aggressor here, I think. And then if we do need to wipe the board eventually, once again, we'll just return the Storm Soul back to the battlefield. So not feeling too bad about that. Pretty nice setup here. Might end up cycling the Fungus as well. I mean, if my opponent is AFK, I'll count it. Whatever. Who cares? You know? 1-0. We'll take it. I mean, it's a little different than playing on the ladder, right? Where it's like, yes, that's a win, but you take the ranked like MMR at the end of the day. Looks like they're here. Hexing Squelcher Part 2. But here there are like actual stakes, you know? They're looking at my Fungus. They couldn't possibly be thinking about killing it, right? The nice thing about the Scouring Storm Soul's like evasion here too is it just swings in, you know? Can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. That's pretty relevant right now. Got a huge body, huge efficient body. I always like these as this card as a one of in any list that I have Fabled Passage in. They're swinging in. I'm going to go ahead and block. If they want to kill this off, that is just fine by me. I don't feel like I'm losing out at all in this exchange. Unless they have, like, a way to exile this, but I don't think Burn plays a way to exile this. Second main phase Obliterating Bolt? I don't think so. Are they going to double Burst Lightning my Scouring Storm Soul? Wait. What is this queue? What is this queue? Let's just go ahead and cycle the Fungus here. Not doing a whole lot. Ghost Vacuum. Another Earthbender Ascension is kind of nasty with it. Just go ahead and make a big forest here. Get another Plains, I suppose. Buff up the Storm Soul. Yeah, go ahead and start swinging in. Put him to a cool 10. Play a Ghost Vacuum and pass it. And then if they go crazy somehow, we have this Day of Judgment. But otherwise, they are dead next turn, and they scoop it up. Yeah, I'm not sure what that Burst Lightning thing was about, but we'll take it. Let's bring in the Shelter by Ghosts. Bring in a couple Authority of the Consuls. Incidentally, a lot of good sideboard pieces for this matchup, too. We can go down probably just all of the Funguses. They don't really do a whole lot. We need to keep a hand with Seam Rips, etc. anyway. And then we could cut the Ice Tail idea. It's not bad here. The nice thing about this list, too, is it's interesting that it's a ramp deck, right? But it curves out, like it tops out at 4. But we have so much extra stuff to do with our mana in the Bossing Says and the Demolition Fields. You don't see too many like Ice Tail Demolition field lists running around. But when it's good, it's really good. Being able to recur this and just kind of like, you know, take all the basics out of your opponent's deck, do a little basics check on them. Probably go down an Earthbender Ascension, probably go down an Ice Tail. Try it like that. Game 2, on the draw. This is close to being really good. 1 lander, though. Okay. This is certainly playable. Let's skip out on the... We go turn 3 split up. Kind of doing nothing in the meantime. I kind of feel like maybe we just skip out on the Ice Tail here. Double Fabled Passage in hand. Opens up our mana quite a bit. Let's just skip on the Ice Tail here. Maybe that's wrong. I don't know. Kind of a tough call. Plains is a good draw. Mountain Go from our mono red opponent. Don't mind seeing that at all. Brightglass, my beloved. Still contemplating getting a Brightglass tattoo. Or maybe I should get a Deserts tattoo. I don't know. Also, Vibrance lately has kind of entered my mind as a possible option. Once again, I don't like the dog necessarily, like the art of the dog. I like the vibe of the art of the dog. Does that make any sense? Like, I like the colors, I just don't like the dog itself. Which is maybe a little sad to say. But I have a dog. I have a beautiful greyhound. And I thought it could be a cool tattoo to get, like, my greyhound, but with the vibrant sort of, like, colors and flourishes. I think that's kind of a sick idea. So I'm kind of gravitating toward that right now. A little bit of a magic homage. A little bit of, you know, personal timeless. And it fits the vibe. She's got a fiery personality. Tersa Light Shatter. Swing it in. Okay. Maybe I just kill this. Discards an Oyer Axonil. Alternatively, I could go Phenomena Recorder, Esper Origins, and then just play a Gear Hulk next turn. It's not doing anything proactive, really. I think it's okay, maybe. Skip on a Fabled Passage. I think I don't mind a Bossing Say, though. I think a guaranteed land drop, no frills. That's a-okay in this position. Phenomena Recorder works decently well with the Esper Origins. I actually had a game this morning in testing where I was able to double up the third chapter trigger twice with 2 Phenomena Recorders, and just like with 2 creatures, suddenly I have 1,000,000 power with Trample, and it was kind of nasty with it. Legend of Roku, pretty nice card for them in this matchup. Good to see what's going on here. I think I want to get an Authority of the Consuls on the field as quickly as I can. I think that involves taking a turn off with the Esper Origins here and then just going for it next turn. Let's take our guaranteed hit here. Gaining a little life back, which is nice. Kind of forcing some action from our opponent, perhaps. At the very least, this will block the Tersa, right? They'll probably just spend their turn casting a Nova Hellkite here. But if I get to go Gear Hulk into... Oh, they cast a Slick Shot Show Off. Okay. If they can't warp this from exile. So they've just given up on the Nova Hellkite here. There's a new Nova Hellkite. New Hellkite just dropped. Oh, they're going to swing in with everything, so I get to just kind of ranch them with a split up. Oh, no. I mean, it's going to be a good split up. But, oh, they're not swinging with Tersa. Oh, no, they are. Okay. Maybe I don't block. Because if I get the extra double green, I get to go... I guess I don't get to split up and Brightglass. But if I get the extra double green, I get to Brightglass and Phenomena Recorder, which kind of goes crazy. I think I can afford to take this hit if I get an Authority of the Consuls on the field. Maybe not. Maybe that's a little crazy. Go down to a cool 5. But if I get the Authority on the field... Yeah, maybe this is greedy. Here's what I'm thinking. If I get the Authority on the field, I get to not only deny their future, like, hasty stuff, but I also get to have Legend of Roku enter tapped, so it'll get hit by my split up. I am putting myself in a position where I die to grab a Basilisk Collar as well. Kind of force the issue here. 2 more hits. Might as well grab another Authority. Actually, let's grab a Seam Rip. Yeah, grab another Authority. It kind of forces them to have exactly like Burn Spell right now. And they certainly could. And I could just die here. But if they don't, so I'm gaining a little life. If they don't have exactly Burn Spell right now, I think I kind of win by default. Sunspine Link's not a very good card against us. A lot of basics. Plays out a Nova Hellkite. That's a great sign. Gain a little life here. Yeah, kind of dodged a bullet there. Hits me for 1. Taps their Slick Shot show off critically. Give our creatures +2/+2 and trample. So we'll get to split up, destroying all tapped creatures. And then I think I'm just going to jam the Basilisk Collar here. It's kind of a million life that I get to gain. Have them kind of locked down with the Authority anyway. Might as well go up to a cool 12. Sunspine Lynx only pings us for 1, so we're feeling pretty good. I think that's GG. Extra Seam Rips, extra Authority to the consoles. I mean, if they kill Gear Hulk exactly right now, maybe they can come back. But if I get to swing with it again, I think it's pretty much over. Swanging in. Storm Soul. I guess I just swing and then play a Storm Soul and equip the collar then. They block? Why? Death Touch Trample means they still take 3, which is kind of nice. Yeah, I don't know why they would block that. Go ahead and equip. And then we get to do the really disgusting late game thing too. Eventually, like, even if they deal with all of this, which they can't, but even if they deal with all of this, we have Bossing Say plus Valgavoth Lair plus Basilisk Collar for, like, really, really tough to interact with late game inevitability. I'd say that's a GG. Pretty nice first match. Kind of a weird match. Pretty much out of our opponent's reach. Lightning Strike to the face to prove a point. Swinging in. They get to recast Oyer Oxenil, but I get to gain a million life off of this attack. Enters tapped, gain a couple life. They can't block, and they're dead. Great. I did have fun. On to the next one. Match 2. On the draw. Get out of here. Alright. It's a little risky-ish. If the Day of Judgment's good, then I think we'll be fine. If the Day of Judgment is bad, we'll see. Put back the Ice Till here, I think. No guarantee that we have a Fabled Passage to go along with it. I like the Brightglass in this deck, though. I like that it's a 4-drop that can just grab 2 lands, if that's all we need, you know? With the Valgavoth's Lair tech. Opponent keeps 7? But they're taking a moment. Alright. Shocks in a Watery Grave. Storm Chaser's Talon. Okay, we draw an Esper Origins. That's not bad. Storm Chaser's Talon, huh? Well, if their deck is full of, like, Nowhere to Runs and Momentum Breakers, I think I'm feeling okay. Not super good against us, but if they have a very, like, proactive Talent plus Boomerang basic sort of start, then I am feeling a little less good. Hits me with the Otter. That's kind of a good sign. Go for an Esper Origins here. Yeah, skip on this stuff. Not lands. Need land. Cross our fingers, gang. Give me the Spirit Fingers. Shocks in a Godless Shrine. Sunpearl, Kirin. Kirin Ichiban. Picks up the Talon, does the stuff. I mean, if we hit a land here and I get... Ooh. Oh, thank you for the Spirit Fingers. Thank you. Go for the Ascension here. We are ascending. Guarantees that we get Day of Judgment next turn. Kinda huge. Kinda huge for us. Nowhere to run. Fine. Deal. Deal. Just play like, I don't know. Play like a Pixie or something. Pick up that Nowhere to Run. Meticulous Archive. Feeling rather meticulous this evening. Another land. Great draw. Get him with the Doge. Feeling great. We have turned the corner. Control player sit up. Engaged. Storm Chaser's talent. Nothing to bring back. Probably just a handful of garbage. Probably just going to go for a Gear Hulk next turn. Gear Hulk plus Fungus, maybe. Make Momentum Breaker a little worse as a top deck. Reproducing a board here. Tap Godless Shrine. Fabled Passage. So we go Gear Hulk. Actually, I don't really mind Fabled Passage as a draw. Lets us turn on the Earthbender Ascension here. Gives us some flexibility there. Let's go Recorder, because we have the 2 Iceberg in hand, plus Fungus for an extra body here. Play the Fungus. The Fungus Among Us. Go for a Passage. Let's make the Fungus a little bigger. That way they can't necessarily threaten the Nowhere to Run here. And then I might as well get the Recorder on the field. So I can go Iceberg or Esper Origins next turn, figure out what I want to do. Shoot the Sheriff on the Fungus. Why not just kill the Gear Hulk, dog? Unless they have a Momentum Breaker in hand. I am feeling pretty good. No bounce off in the graveyard to go infinite with the talent. Honestly, might just Iceberg the talent. Take away their future options. If I get a chance. It looks like they're eyeing leveling up the talent. That's fine. Land. So they can kill the Gear Hulk, but now we're just kind of chilling. Now we're just kind of chilling. I guess I just eat both of these guys. No, I'm not dying to this. You know what I mean? I should just deal with the Storm Chaser's talent. Eat a Pixie, eat the talent. What can they do? What can they even do about that? The worst thing that they could do right now really is just draw a way to go crazy with this. And I know I have the Fungus in hand to be able to answer it, but yep, feeling pretty good. We have some life gain off the Esper Origins. Only 2 cards in their hand. No clear way to go crazy. Sun Pearl Kieran. Dodged a bullet. They get to pick up the Nowhere to Run, but we don't really care about this. We don't really care about this. Could just eat both their creatures here. Keep them off of Kaito. Oh, well, that's a really nice draw. I'm going to try to hit a land here to be able to then Seam Rip, etc., etc. Pretty happy with all of this. We'll have to shock ourselves, but we gain a couple life off the Esper Moduin. Start stacking up some damage here. Do a Seam Rip. Copy it with the Phenomena Recorder. This is another huge form of our card advantage, really, that we can access off of the Gear Hulk. Just being able to copy all of our triggers. Makes all of our removal 2-for-1s, basically. They draw a Cryogen Relic, not the worst top deck. It's a land. And I'd say we've kind of done it here. I guess if they run really hot right now. Yeah, I just don't think this is enough. Double Ang's Iceberg in hand. We have a Bossing Say on the field. Add double green. Go ahead and fire up the Bossing Say here. Let's copy this. If we copy this now, we get a bigger Anthem off of the Esper Origins next turn. And they scoop it up. Great. That's all you need. Bossing Say, little Esper Origins action. Felt pretty good. Let's bring in... Pick Your Poison can be okay, but probably just too many targets to be relevant. Shelter by Ghosts. Probably a non-bow with the Nowhere to Run. I think a couple Split Up is fine. Keep them off of their crazy Otter starts. Get Lost may be okay if they have Kaito. I don't really like giving them maps, though. I think, actually, the first Authority of the consoles is probably fine. They have to kill you pretty quickly. They do have a grind element to their game plan, but ideally, they're just trying to kill you. You know what I mean? Like, get on the board, tempo you out. And if we start gaining, like, incidental life gain every time they, like, pick up their creatures, that really complicates their aggro plan. Let's go down... Go down a Day of Judgment. They might... Will they bring in Graveyard Hate? Probably not. I don't know. I think Storm Soul looks pretty good here. They can't really block it. Go down a Fungus. Go down... Can we go down a land? Yeah, that's probably okay. Cut a demo field. Run it like that. All right, pretty solid hand here on the draw. We have early Phenomenon Recorder with Fabled Passages, which means we get to open up our mana quite a lot. They could Seam Rip the Phenomenon Recorder, but we have a Seam Rip ourselves. Early Shadowy Backstreet is pretty nice to see as well. It means they're not doing crazy Otter stuff out the gates. Tapped Watery Grave. What is their hand? All right. It's going to happen here. Watch out. You know how I love to open up my mana. How I love to ramp. Pass? Do I go for this now to play around Tishana's Tidebinder? I think so. I'm not doing anything else with it anyway. Let's play around the Tidebinder here. Fetch with the Fabled Passage. Activate the Phenomena Recorder here. Double fetch. That's so fetch. Gretchen Wiener. Mean Girls, 2002. Meticulous Archive. I think I'm just going to go Fabled Passage again. Because if I start copying the Gear Hulk triggers, I don't think they can win that game. I don't think they can win that game. Okay, Esper Origins is a nice way to fill in the gaps here. I actually probably should have fetched first, I guess. Yeah, this was kind of silly. I do want to draw this Earthbender Ascension, but I'm kind of feeling good anyway. Oopsie daisy. A little bit of a sequencing error, but I don't think it'll matter too much with the double Gear Hulk in hand. Momentum Breaker. Fine. I think we just get rid of a Seam Rip here. See if they have a Tidebinder. They could. It's not gonna matter really. They can't effectively Tidebinder me with the recorder on the field, right? As long as I get one Gear Hulk trigger off, I get to find another Phenomena Recorder and keep going crazy. They could annul this. Now that would be a problem. Go for the recorder. It's disgusting. Does this just happen? Is this just happening? Okay. Let's go authority and recorder. And then just, I don't know, a lot of options here. Fungus and seam rip. It's good. Sun Pearl Kieran. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I think we're just gonna bury them with our top end at this point. Simply does not matter. They can make a sack, they can start hitting us, but the fact that we're at 20 with 7 lands on the battlefield, yeah, it means that we can just do so many actions with our mana at this point. Going to be kind of impossible for them to recover outside of drawing something like a Null to be able to fight back on tempo that way. 2 mana available. They shocked themselves, which I kind of feel like means they have another Sun Pearl Kieran. I'm just going to continue to go crazy with the Gear Hulk here. Play another Recorder. At one point in my draft, I had Nurturing Pixie in my deck to be able to pick up Phenomena Recorders. Yeah, I think I go for the Gear Hulk here. We'll copy this. It'll involve discarding a card, but that's okay. I guess I can just take 3 cards. Let's take a Lair, Ghost Vacuum, and then maybe just another Seam Rip at this point. Run it like that. Full grip. It's nasty. He's a nasty man. He's a nasty man doing this to unsuspected people in the traditional standard event queue. I know it's all like 1 mana effects, but the fact that we can just double up our seam rips, like that's all we need, right? It's kind of infinite card advantage if you think about it. Looks like they might have a seam rip. Or maybe a Kaito. At this point, Kaito would be pretty decent. A Requisition Raid. Okay, nice. Pretty good. We can also reset our Phenomena Recorders with the Aang's Iceberg if we really want to. It's a little bit of a cheeky maneuver. But it is an option. Skip on this stuff. A lot of permanents in the deck to hit for the Esper Origins, which is nice. Bossing Say. Let's just go Seam Rip, Seam Rip. No need to be silly here. Actually, I could just Fungus this Fear of Isolation. That's probably fine. Pretty nice use of the Fungus for us here, I think. Go Bossing Say, Ghost Vacuum, so we can think about double Bossing Say on this Valgavoth's Lair next turn. And now, with the main deck Ghost Vacuum too, that just kind of extends all the value out because we have one of the best like Ghost Vacuum targets right in our deck. Just getting the ETB off of the Gear Hulk again is kind of perfect. Storm Chaser's talent, but Ghost Vacuum on the field now. Really hampers the effectiveness. Yeah, maybe we should pack in some way to pick up the recorders. Not that we need more value at this point. I mean, we're almost certainly winning this game. Sun Pearl Kieran picks up the Momentum Breaker. Okay. Fine by me. Pass it back. One thing to keep in mind, nowhere to run. Gets through the hexproof on my Valgavoth's Lair, so Let's plan to go for this when we can double up the trigger in some capacity, I suppose. I guess I don't have access to a phenomena recorder, right? So we can just kind of play it out slow. Just start seam ripping their stuff. Go for another bossing say. Fire this up, and then I think I'm just going to pass here. Well, I'm going to hit them and then pass. I could activate bossing say again, but then I'm kind of in the nowhere to run trap a little bit. So let's not overinvest in this guy quite yet. Levels up the talent. Okay. Targeting the requisition raid. We'll just go ahead and snipe that. And then if they want to invest in fully leveling this up, we can Iceberg it. Not a big deal. Take one. They are at max speed. I think if I actually just spread out these Valgavoth layer, if I spread out the earth bends on my lands, they probably just can't beat that, right? Just too many guys to deal with. Kind of a nasty card once you have infinite mana. Let's just go in here, I think. Not really being threatened too much. There's the nowhere to run. Rewarded for playing around it. Kind of a critical moment for their next draw here. They can fully level up the talent, but I don't think this matters. Plays a land. Alrighty. Feeling like we're going to slide into a win here. Feeling like we're going to slide into a win. We can start leveling up this Valgavoth layer now. Actually, might as well just do like a split on these two. Hit him. Play another Valgavoth layer, and it's kind of GG at this point. They can gain some life, but even if they like find a way to make a couple extra otters, we have these Icebergs, as well as this Ghost Vacuum that's just been building up this pressure cooker of extra value here. Kind of surprised they haven't scooped by now. They have a fear of isolation. They pick up the Storm Chaser's talent. Okay. All right. Makes another otter. Swings. Well, that's just GG. That's just GG. Levels up the talent. Grabs nothing. Double Iceberg. All right, 2-0. Pretty good start. Excited to keep this rolling. Gonna split up the recording sessions here a little bit since these matches are long, and my mom is here, so I'm gonna go hang out with my mom for a little bit. Visiting from out of town, so that's nice. Anywho, see you in a little bit for match number 3. All right, and we're back. Match number 3. Got a mulligan this. Ooh, it's not bad. It's not great. It'll need a little help. Being on the play helps. Don't at me about the different shirt if you've noticed. Just watched Marty Supreme with the fam. It was a fucking roller coaster, gang. I didn't really know what to expect going in, but that movie is not about table tennis. It's not about table tennis at all. Maybe a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised, by the way, if I'm wearing an even different shirt for the next recording, because these games are long. I think I might only have time for one more in this session here. Let's go ahead and discard a Fabled Passage. Doesn't super duper matter. Definitely a land. Set that up for our Ice Till. Seam Rip. Go ahead and play a Seam Rip here. Just manage this Otter, I think. Alternatively, we could go for the Storm Chaser's talent. Looks like it's Esper Pixie again. Let's just grab the Storm Chaser's talent. Keep them off of options there. If they want to pick up the Momentum Breaker, that's not really a huge deal. Swing it on in. I'm going to assume they're holding up a Sun Pearl Kieran. Happy to draw a Brightglass Gearhulk here. Aang. Swift Savior. I didn't see that coming. Not the end of the world. Little delay. Probably going for the Ice Till next turn then. Get double land drops out of our graveyard and then cast the Gearhulk here. Okay. This is nice. We can go... Actually, Plains is a pretty good draw. We can go Plains into Ice Till. Hope they don't have another way to interact with this on the stack. Grab our Fabled Passage as our second land drop, so they can't kill my Ice Till. They can't deny my second land drop here, and I'll be able to cast this Brightglass. Valgavoth's Lair milled. That's fine. Cast the Brightglass, resolves, and they're not really putting a whole lot of pressure on me here either. So I'm feeling pretty good. Let's grab a Seam Rip. And then I think I like a Phenomena Recorder. Try to start generating some crazy value. If I untap with this board, I'm feeling really good. Pretty likely that they'll be able to pick up their Momentum Breaker, but I'm kind of surprised they didn't do anything there. Sig Wanderwine Wisdom. I'm going to be able to redraw off of this. Kind of seems like they have a No More Lies here. So if I block with either of my guys into the Otter, it'll just die. Not in love with that. Plays an island. 3 untapped mana, representing No More Lies, but we get to start playing the lands out of our graveyard, which is kind of huge for us. Let's just play the forest here. Crack this fetch. Let's just go Recorder into Gearhulk here. We need to be able to answer this Aang eventually, but it's not putting too much pressure on us. Cast another Gearhulk. Try to draw a million cards here. See if this all goes through. Wow. Okay. Grab a Seam Rip. Grab another Recorder. And then I think I'm just going to take 2 funguses. 2 fungi, if you will. Bring these fungi into the party here, into the mix. Not sure how relevant they'll be. We can just go ahead and Seam Rip a Sig here, keep them off of future card advantage, and then start swinging in. Seems a little unlikely to me that they have anything real here. Maybe it's just like a handful of No More Lies. Or maybe they drew a way to pick up this Sig. Oh, they're going to Legend Rule their Aang to be able to airbend Sig. That's fine. Hit you with a Gearhulk. Starting to feel the pressure a little bit, but we have time. We're kind of winning the race. Swings with the Otter here. Maybe I do go for a block now. Force them to deal with my Ice Till here. I'm not like that upset really, right? If they want to spend their whole turn, basically, killing off my Ice Till, I don't think I super care at this point. Saw this coming. But now they're kind of tapped out, and I'm swinging back with a pretty heavy hit. Shocks themselves. Esper Origin's kind of a nice draw. Shocks themselves. Okay. Go to hit ya. Could be holding up a No More Lies here. Or maybe they're just planning on sacking the Momentum Breaker. Go for a Seam Rip. Try to eat up their guys here. Sweet, sweet. Okay, now we cast an Esper Origins. Start gaining some life. We do want to draw... I kind of think we want both of these. Yeah, we probably don't need the Day of Judgment at this point. Play a Fungus. See if this gets countered. I doubt it. Okay. And then if they cast something here, I think I'm just going to pop the Momentum Breaker with my Fungus. So they better just pop the Momentum Breaker now before I can mess with that. They go back up to 8. But how are they going to kill me? You know what I mean? I think this is simply just too much for them to have to answer. They could have a board wipe in hand, I guess. Is this Kaito? Little Kaito action. Pick up the Aang, hit me for 3. And then they have access to Aang again. But I don't know. Does that matter? They can airbend a Gear Hulk, but I can hit them with an Earthbent land as well. Double up the trigger on my Earthbender Ascension. Keep this Fungus alive for extra damage. Say they flash in the Aang, right? Airbend a Gear Hulk and block the Gear Hulk. I guess I can't present a lethal attack necessarily. Boomerang Basics to pick up the Nowhere to Run? Is this a trap? I'm just gonna destroy it. Are they tapping out? Out of Aang range here? Oh, do they have another Momentum Breaker? No? That's a little confusing. Go for the Earthbender Ascension. We get to double this up for a hasty 4/4 Earthbent Plains. And if they have like a No More Lies, then they tap out and my Gear Hulks get through. I could go for a different land. It probably makes sense to just go for the same one though. All on one trigger, so doubling up the Earthbender Ascension trigger with the Phenomenon Recorder gets us 2/2 of Earthbend power, toughness, and an extra land. Game's chugging a little bit here. A lot of stuff on the board. Gonna have to restart my client after this, I think. Hit them. And they scoop it up. Great. Great. All right. Kind of a grindy first game. Felt like we were on the like we were in the lead kind of the whole time, it felt like. Bring in the Voice of Victories. Otherwise, probably just go down some Day of Judgments. Doesn't seem super important here. Maybe Get Lost is fine, although I don't love the idea of giving them maps. Authority of the Consoles, once again, in this sort of Esper Pixie matchup, that little extra life over the course of the game adds up, I think. Maybe we want the split ups, though. I don't know. They're a little more mid-rangey, right, with the Aangs in the deck. Huh. Down a Fungus. We don't need all the fungi. Down a couple fungi, up a couple split up. 2 Day of Judgment, 2 split up. Do we want Get Lost for Kaito? Earthbender Ascension is pretty good at pressuring Planeswalkers. Let's just run it back. Game 2, on the draw. Keep this 6. Put back a Fabled Passage. We'll lead on the Fabled Passage here. We'll have pretty good untapped mana. They lead on a Nurturing Pixie for a possible turn 2 sneak on the Ninja guy, maybe? Maybe I'm just supposed to Seam Rip this. I can Seam Rip this, play the Fabled Passage turn 2, and then Earthbender Ascension turn 3. Not bad. Oh, they also have Sig. Maybe that's what the Pixie was for, to try to redraw off of Sig. Go for the Esper Origins. Let's just put lands in our graveyard. This will set up an Ice Till Explorer in the future pretty nicely. Floodpit's Drowner. Hits me for 2, doesn't play a land. Are they stuck on lands? They're stuck on lands, so they're Boomerang Basics. Using Boomerang Basics on the Drowner here. That's kind of crazy. You know, Valgavoth Slayer is a really nice draw with the Earthbender Ascension here. I kind of think it could be correct to delay the Earthbender Ascension and Earthbend the Lair, especially when they're representing the Floodpit's Drowner like this. I think that's okay. Maybe they interact with this Esper Origins that I don't actually care about resolving. Maybe they think I need to resolve this. Although I did put two lands in the graveyard just now, so they're probably wise to that. Let's just delay this. Put that on white. I know they have nowhere to run, but they may not have. They may have taken them out, given what they saw game 1. I don't think they saw the Valgavoth Slayer interaction with the Earthbend. They pick up the Drowner again. Kind of a desperate situation, it seems like, for our opponent. Tapped Hollowed Fountain. We draw a Gear Hulk. Play the Bossing Say. Let's go for the Earthbender Ascension here. See if they have a nowhere to run. And it doesn't really super matter if they do. But if they don't, this becomes quite a problem. I guess they could still have Momentum Breaker, but fine at that point. Grab a Forest. Nowhere to run. Fine. Not a problem for me. Let's put this on white now. Pass it back to you. Pixie, pick up the nowhere to run. Okay, so they've shut down my shenanigans, but I still think I just get to outgrind them with crazy card advantage here. I think I'm going to go for the Esper Origins first. Play a land. Play around Spell Pierce a little bit here. Let's grab the Aang's Iceberg. And then we can decide on this forest. I might as well play a Fungus. Pass it back to you. Gear Hulk in hand. Probably going to fetch away this forest, but haven't decided yet. Nowhere to run. Gonna kill off the Fungus. I don't really care about this either. You have successfully 1-for-1 my 1-drop. Drowner. Fine. Three cards in hand. If they have an Enduring Curiosity here, they could fight their way back into this game. But outside of that, it's looking fine. And they kind of have to tap out for it, and we have the Aang's Iceberg. I'm feeling okay. Seam Rip. Seam Rip on the Esper Modwin. Nice little 2-for-1 for us. They're thinking about Seam Ripping my Seam Rip. Interesting. Do we want this land? Land lets me go Esper Origins and hold up Iceberg. Whatever that's worth. It also lets me make a pretty big threat here, actually. Like, if I... They probably don't have... They could have an Aang, but they probably don't have No More Lies, right? They would have used it. Go for the Gear Hulk here. And then I think I'm going to grab another Fungus and start trying to buff a Fungus with the Earthbender Ascension. This resolves. Grab a Fungus. Do we want a Phenomena Recorder? Sure. Play a Fungus. Now I can threaten to blow up their Nowhere to Run as well. Pass it back to ya. Feeling pretty ahead. They're trying to grind by picking up their stuff, but it's just not enough. Like, we have actual real card advantage. Good card selection, too, with the Esper Origins. That's kind of the key thing. That's the thing that sets it apart from, like, this style of card advantage, right? It's like, you are working with the material you have. Other than Kaito Surveilling, you don't have a great way to dig. Esper Origins Surveil 2 lets you weed out the lands in the late game. Helps us guarantee that we are actually hitting real gas. Swinging in, do they just shock themselves? Swinging in with the Flood Pit's Drowner. Yeah, I'll just block with the Fungus. Sun Pearl Kieran. Threatening to pick up the Nowhere to Run. Let's just blow it up. Counter on the Gear Hulk here. Deny them future options with this. They could have a Momentum Breaker in hand, but even if that's the case... Okay, another Sun Pearl Kieran. They get to keep their Nowhere to Run, but does this matter? I don't really think so. Brightglass Gear Hulk. Okay. Player Recorder. Working with perfect information now. We get 1 million cards off of this Gear Hulk, including land drops for our Earthbender Ascension, or at least 1 land drop. We're low on 1 mana cards, I think, but I think we have enough to copy this. Take a Lair, take another Recorder, and then I think I'm just going to take 2 Seam Rips here. Bury them in Seam Rips. Kind of looks disgusting against what they're doing, right? The way the value stacks off of, like, so I'm doubling up the Gear Hulk trigger, right? So I'm already gaining much more card advantage than I should be, and then I'm doubling up the triggers of the cards that I take. So it's kind of exponential almost in a way. Like, I can clear their whole board just with 2 Seam Rips next turn. Swinging in. Can't block the Drown. Actually, I can block the Drowner, right? Little first strike action. Little 1/1 first strike. Yeah, not sure why they swung with the Drowner there. Gets me down to 8. Nowhere to run. And Nurturing Pixie. So once again, we see their whole hand, all perfect information here. They kill off 1 Gear Hulk. Can I just kill them this turn? Think so. Seam Rip a Pixie and then double up this Bossing Say. I don't even need to double that. Target this. Double up the trigger. And that's Brightglass control, baby. Perfect demonstration. G frickin' G. G frickin' G. 3-0. Get hype. It would be nice to have another back-to-back 5-0. Different decks this time, but had a pretty nice... this is a much different pace than the Boros modified video. If you didn't watch that one, another 5-0 run in these traditional events, and just absolutely, like, all in, all the time, got lucky, on the play. This is much more grindy, much more, I don't know, pensive, thoughtful, but just kind of overwhelming our opponents with card advantage rather than tempo. Fun list. Excited to keep this rolling. Gotta head to the gym, so I'll probably be back in another outfit for match 4. All right, back for match number 4. Pretty good opener here. Snap Keep. Turn 2, Esper Origins. Turn 3, Ascension. Feeling pretty good. Guaranteed can play, at the very least, Day of Judgment turn 4, which we may need. Turn 1, Elusive Otter from our opponent. Been a long day for me. This is the latest I've ever recorded one of these. So if I if I make sleepy plays, don't at me in the comments. But I'm gonna try to focus up, get us through, because we are currently 3-0, which is pretty sick. Been some real grindy ass matches so far. Already an hour into the recording. 2 matches left to play. Let's close this out with confidence. Cantrips. Feeling fine. Feeling frosty. Let me play my cards. I'm but a simple man. I play a humble Esper Origins and pass. Pitch the lands into the graveyard. No sweat. We now also have the option of going Scouring Storm Soul on turn 3. It blocks. Blocking's good. Slick Shot Show Off. I think I like the idea of the Storm Soul because it blocks, or has the potential to block this Otter. I'm definitely ripping the Day of Judgment on turn 4. Another Esper Origins. Actually, maybe that's just better. I don't have to commit any creatures to the board. I can just gain a little more life here. That's probably just better. Let's keep both of these on top. I think these are both pretty good draws. Draw planes, have the option of casting the Gear Hulk, even though we kind of have to cast the Day of Judgment at the very least. And then double Earthbender Ascension is a pretty good way to fight back once they stumble here. Casts a stock up. Maybe not super ideal for me. Kind of wish they had maybe committed more resources here rather than possibly being able to, like, rebuild pretty easily after the Day of Judgment. Hits me down to 8. Man, that's pretty low. They do play a Storm Chaser's talent. No real choice here. Got to go for the Doge. 5 mana. No basics to pick up with the talent, but they could pick up their stock up. A lot of resources on their end. Kind of feeling like maybe an Esper Origins angle. Maybe we should have skipped on this second Earthbender Ascension, tried to dig for maybe like a Seam Rip to be able to go Esper Origins plus Seam Rip. Cast a stock up. I'm at 8. Huge play draw difference here, IMO. Sleight of hand. Sleight of hand, but they're tapping out. And they're not really buffing a creature with that, so that's okay. We could just get a Gear Hulk on the field, grab our Ghost Vacuum, which would at least delay Storm Chaser's talent as an option. They wouldn't be able to just start picking up their stock ups. It wouldn't gain us life. I guess let's hope the Gear Hulk is good. We can grab a Seam Rip while we're at it. And just go for a Ghost Vacuum here. We could also get a Phenomena Recorder. I think that's a little bit greedy. Let's try to cut off at least one of their angles here. Still at 8. Very possible that we're dead here. 6 mana, lots of cards, 2 stock ups cast. Feels pretty likely to me. Burst Lightning to the Dome. Okay. That's fine. Unless they have a way to give this... Do they have a secret identity here? Just cast an Otter? Burst Lightning to the Dome I can abide by. Do we have to care about cutting down on their spell density in their graveyard? Probably not. I can't really race that with the Ghost Vacuum anyway, so I might as well start exiling some creatures here. I could just go like Iceberg, Seam Rip. I think I have to get my life total a little higher here. I'm pretty happy with both of these as draws, I think. Let's guarantee we hit our land drop. Open up the possibility of double spelling in the future, and then just... maybe I just Seam Rip the Otter's Talent. Because they don't have a green source, right? And the worst thing they can do at this point probably is just like bounce off their Storm Chaser's Talent, or Boomerang Basics their Storm Chaser's Talent, and go crazy that way. On the other hand, 2 Otters is better than 1. And they're more likely to find a kill with 2 Otters than just 1. Let's hold back here. Maybe I'm supposed to hit them. I don't know. 6 is pretty low. Did they just hit, like, ass garbage off of the stock-ups? There's a bounce off. This I'm fine with. 1 card in hand. I feel like it's a land. And they're just going to activate the Agna Kela this turn? Yo, no way. How did we fade, like, everything here? I'm kind of in shock. They cast 2 stock-ups, and, like, they played garbage. They level up the Storm Chaser's Talent. Brother. You know I'm just gonna exile it. I don't know. And now I have another great way to continue gaining life here. On top of my Esper Origins, I get to cast 1 and then flash 1 back. Might as well cast 1 first. Let's try to dig for a land. Keep the life gain going. Skip on a Day of Judgment. There's a land. More lands is more good. Do we want the fungus? I think we can skip on the fungus. Back to a healthy 10. I kind of think we can start hitting them. Draw land. I don't think I'll regret hitting them. They have a land in hand. And we can start turning the corner here. Wow. I'm I'm honestly a little shocked. I wonder if their stock ups were like 4 lands and a bounce off and 4 lands and a burst lightning, you know what I mean? I guess sometimes that happens. I haven't cast a whole lot of stock ups in my Magic career, but I have to assume that sometimes that is just what you're looking at, right? There's a mountain, there's another talent. We don't really care about that. I'm honestly shocked that I think we're going to win this game on the draw here against Prowess. They had the setup too and everything. Let's exile the fungus. I could just go for double Earthbender Ascension for some blocks. I think I'd rather just continue to pad my life total here. Yeah, I don't think I have a guaranteed lethal quite yet. Could just get the Ice Till on the field. Could go like Earthbender Ice Till. I think I just keep rocking these Esper Origins, and they scoop it up to that. It's simply too much life gain. Yeah, great addition to this list, just being able to fight back on life total like that in the main board. Wow, kind of surprised. Bring in the Authority of the Consuls. That's what I had, that's the matchup I had in mind for the Consuls here. Basilisk Collar, I think so. There's some situations. It's not very good early game, but if we can avoid drawing it and tutor it when we need it, I think it's pretty good. Bringing the Split Ups, bringing the Voice of Victories, bringing the Shelter by Ghosts. The one of Dragon Sniper is probably not bad. Skip on all the fungi. Can you guys hear my cat meowing at me right now? Hi, kitty. Hi, baby. Sesame. Hi. Let's go ahead and cut. Everything looked kind of good. Maybe we go down a Brightglass. Maybe we go down a Storm Soul in Earthbender Ascension. We don't need a whole lot of those. I think I like Aang's Iceberg, but we probably don't want a handful of Aang's Iceberg. Maybe we don't need the full Day of Judgment playset, though, either. 3 Doge, 4 Gear Hulks. I don't know. Try it like that. I don't think it super duper matters as long as we open with some amount of Seam Rips in our opening hand. A split up would be nice. Authority would be really nice. On the draw again, there's a Seam Rip. There's a Recorder. The Basilisk Collar is a little awkward. I'm going to keep this. We can delay casting the Seam Rip until we hit, until we have the Phenomena Recorder on the field. Let's just lead on this Temple Garden tapped. Get these out of the way so we don't ever have to shock these in. Ghost Vacuum actually is kind of sick, right? Because it means I can actually meaningfully impact the density of instants and sorceries in their graveyard. We'll see if they think about annulling this, maybe, or Spell Pierce. I kind of think they brought in Spell Pierce. I'm going to pass here. I want to resolve this Ghost Vacuum. It feels like they're representing a Spell Pierce. I think it'll be a meaningful player with how few resources we have here. And I'd rather guarantee I get to resolve this. Another Recorder. Go for a Vacuum. Hi, kitty. Come here. Wow. Hello. All right, run along now. Daddy's working. Pass it back to you. We can start picking off their instants and sorceries and stuff. Mountain. Island. Plots a show-off. Plotting a show-off we can manage. Pretty likely that they brought in Eddie Merc Crab, which is why this is kind of important. Seems like a pretty common sideboarded strategy. I don't mind drawing the Esper Origins here. Go ahead and cast that. Pretty nice hits. I mean, I definitely want both of these things. Let's see, next turn they play a Slick Shot Show-Off. We go Seam Rip. We go Voice of Victory and then Seam Rip Copy. We can kind of commit everything at that point. I think we'd rather draw the Voice first here. Pass it back. Voice is a great hit here, actually, to help us guarantee we can deploy the Seam Rip through... we get to be a little proactive and be able to deploy a Seam Rip through Spell Pierce. I guess we would get to do that anyway. Also helps set up our future turns, I suppose. Burst Lightning to the Dome. Wow, a real maverick over here. I've never done that before in my life. Take 3. Okay. Four cards in hand, passing it back to me. Oh. Keep them off the crab. Play a land, hit them with the Voice of Victory. See what they do here. Feels like this is going to resolve Get Out. Okay. Suppose we go for the Seam Rip. Force some action. 2 mana available. They could have another Get Out, but I think I'm pretty fine with that. Guarantees our Gear Hulk probably resolves. Goes for a Bounce Off. That's fine. They're using up a lot of their resources here. I'm going to see if they care about this Basilisk Collar. 1 mana still available. See if they have a Spell Pierce, because next turn I want to go Gear Hulk plus Seam Rip, right? See if they care about this. They do care about this. Great. I don't. I'm at a healthy life total. I have Esper Origins, right? The important thing is actually being able to manage the show off next turn. So them using the Spell Pierce there means I get to almost certainly resolve this Gear Hulk. Plus Seam Riff, if I wanted to. But it looks like they decide to plot the show off, interestingly enough. They can't cast a crab. Let's go for the Gear Hulk here. See if they have another Get Out. That'd be pretty annoying, actually. A null. Okay, fair enough. But they are completely hellbent, and I have an Esper Origins in the graveyard. Do we show them the last card? I suppose why not? Pass it back to you. Any reason to do this now? Probably not. And we can start picking up our creatures out of the graveyard with our Gross Vacuum. Probably better to start doing that now. They can just cast a crab raw at this point. Plays the show off. What is their top deck? Steaming Sauna. Hey, that's a pretty good top deck. That's a pretty good top deck. See if we can fight through this. I took out all of my enchantment hate, but I do have some Aang's Icebergs. Let's start exiling some of our guys here. Our bravest warriors. Draw an Ice Till. No fetch in the graveyard, but maybe we can set that up here. I think I want the split up. I could also just put both of these in the graveyard and cross my fingers. Guarantee I'll have material for Ice Till in the future. I think that's okay. A little risky, maybe. Another Esper Origins on top. Not super likely that we whiff in that scenario, but something in the graveyard for our Ice Till is not the worst thing. I have a lot of mana to work with next turn. With the second chapter here. Cast a Stock Up. Okay. Yeah, really rough that they had that annul from downtown. Get out, annul, and then top deck into a Steaming Sauna. Went pretty well for them. We're still in this, but depending on what they hit off the stock up here, could start putting quite a lot of pressure. To the end, go ahead and exile our Voice of Victory now. I guess maybe I should think about keeping them off of the crab here. Maybe we see if they have a crab. I could just go ahead and target one of their instants and sorceries. See if that does anything for you. Because they're at crab mana with this count here. They're thinking about it. They let it go. Crab is off the table. So let's go for the Ice Till. See if they have another Get Out. That would be really kind of miserable. They have another Get Out. Okay. Let's cast this Esper Origins. Stuff that we can put in the graveyard. I don't know. Maybe I want a Fabled Passage. It's something I can do with my Phenomena Recorders to actually give me quite a lot of mana for the future. Which makes these Esper Origins better overall. Maybe not worth it. I don't know. Another show off into another stock up. Wow. Yeah, opponent's starting to run pretty hot here. I might just be dead. I mean, not dead this turn, but... Bounces my Esper motto, and that's actually totally fine with me. I'm not really sure why they would do that. Wild Ride. Oh, because I'm just dead. Okay, great. Kind of a nuts series of draws. Can't complain too much. We get to be on the play here. Let's try to think a little smarter. Steaming Sauna is a bit of a problem. Maybe we want the Pick Your Poisons, now that we know they're on that tech. It still could just amount to them sacrificing a Storm Chaser's talent in that scenario, but at the very least it also hits. The show-offs for pretty cheap. Get Lost, also possibly an option. Maybe we want the first Fungus, just for that scenario. And then we go down another Day of Judgment. I don't think Day of Judgment's super important here. Split Up's pretty good. Yeah, let's try it like that. All right, on the play. Pretty good hand. Not going to complain about this too much. Turn 2 Voice of Victory. I kind of think that's huge for us, since they brought in so much interaction, so much counter magic. If they Spell Snare my Voice of Victory, I'm going to absolutely flip my shit, but I suppose we'll wait until that happens. Okay, whew. It was close. And y'all don't want to see that, because I probably wouldn't have reacted very harshly. I probably would have been like, oh, damn, that sucks. Oh, they're missing land drops. Great. Do I just Demolition Field the Steam Vents then? Keeps them off of one of their colors. I'm not really doing anything else this turn anyway. I guess I could cast an Esper Origins. That's probably just better. Guarantee I get to do this next turn. Let's draw a Temple Garden. It's an interesting idea, though, cutting them off of one of their colors. Yeah, I don't think they can win this game anymore. I think they just scoop it up, like, literally right now. Sleight of hand. Okay. Maybe. Wait, seriously? Oh, okay. Ooh. I was scared for a second. Let's jam the Gear Hulk, because it's big and mean, and I don't want them to annul, like have the chance to annul here. Do I just get double authority to consoles? Sure, why not? I don't think they can beat this. I actually don't think they can beat this. It's just too much life gain, and also turning off their show-offs. Forces them to expose their show-offs, sets up the split up. Maybe it's a little greedy grabbing 2. Maybe the more restrained option was grabbing like a Seam Rip as well. This is fine. Another Gear Hulk. So we go Authority and then flashback the Esper Origins here. Phenomenon Recorder, Ghost Vacuum. I kind of think maybe we just skip on both of these. No, maybe we want the Recorder. We have a Seam Rip in hand. Skip on the Ghost Vacuum. They need another blue source for the crab. And they only have red sources. That's pretty rough for them, actually. Yeah, and they can't get out my Voice of Victory, so I think we're kind of doing okay. If they have exactly another Roaring Furnace here to kill the Esper Modein, I'm not in love with that. Stock up. They probably should have cast stock up before playing their Mountain, right? Because now I could just jam another Gear Hulk. Continue to hit my land drops. I guess I get to do that anyway. I get to do both Voice of Victory and Gear Hulk. Yeah, I don't see why not. Yeah, kind of hard to imagine them winning through this, based on what I know about this matchup. Let's just grab double land drops. We have kind of sick cards in hand anyway. Guarantee we hit our land drops here. We can get a recorder on the field. And then double up the trigger of the Anthem on Esper Modowin to present 2 lethal attacks, pretty much, I think. They have crab mana now. Now they don't. So that is no longer a worry. Meaning they can't win. Pretty sure. Simply too much red mana to do anything impactful here, I think. They bounce the Esper Origins. And then what? Show off. Tapped. No blocks. Passes. Dead to my bossing say? A GG. Alright. Alright. 4-0. Brightglass control. Feels pretty good. Got a lot of tools. Got a lot of answers. Decent ways to finish out the game. See if we can close it out with a sick 5-0 here. Would be nice. Another back-to-back. Match 5 for all the marbles. On the play. Skip this. Yeah, I mean, keeping this, but I guess we just put back a forest and hope we eventually draw another white source. It's fine. Not great. It's fine. Could be good, depending on how well Seam Rip lines up. Pass it back. I could delay the Fabled Passage, make them think I'm mono green. Kind of an interesting angle. Paid off for cracking it, I guess. Ooh, baby. Let's put the Scouring Stormsoul in the graveyard. I have a feeling that will be good against Blooming Marsh. Vaginal Cub. Okay, maybe not. maybe we're playing a different kind of game. I guess I just Seam Rip the Cub here. Keep them off of Fast Ouroboros. No board wipe in hand, but place at a Day of Judgment in the main, exactly for this matchup. Sentinel of the Nameless City. Could be doing something spicy like Obsessive Pursuit. I feel like I've seen a 5-0 list with that kind of tech. I think we want to grab a Phenomenon Recorder here, just by the nature of having the double Aang's Iceberg in hand. Let's go for the Gear Hulk. Grab a recorder. I guess we grab a land drop. Maybe that's the safest thing to do. Guarantee I can play. Do my double up thing. I need a total of 5 mana to be able to cast the Iceberg and double it with the recorder here. Gives me the option next turn of like playing this tapped lair and then Esper Origins, generating some extra mana. Beseech the Mirror. Phoenix Fleet Airship, perhaps. Well, I think I can beat this. Land. Okay. I think I have to Aang's Iceberg this Sentinel to keep them from getting a map guaranteed. So that next turn I can go eat up both of the airships with Aang's Iceberg. Otherwise, what are my other options? I could just try to race them. And then I could play Esper Origins and next turn just do the recorder plus Aang's Iceberg thing all in one turn. That's probably better. Yeah, I think I just swing at them. They can't block my Gear Hulk, and then I can hold back an Esper Origins to block with. I think it's okay. We'll see. It at the very least lets me extend the life of both of my Aang's Icebergs rather than committing one now. I can use them both with the recorder angle here. Let's skip on these. Day of Judgment. Okay. Interesting. Tapped lair here. Day of Judgment actually not that bad. Actually not that bad. It gives us an extra option of just like nuking their board if they go crazy. Nuking our board in the process, but we do have the Storm Soul in the graveyard. Trying to focus up here. I'd like to get a match win. Feel like we're pretty well suited for this matchup if they're doing Ouroboros stuff, but I guess maybe I'm not exactly convinced that that's the case. It could just be more of a mirror plus Sentinel idea in general. Gets to kill off my... Okay. Yeah, they have a pretty nice setup to actually get their airships fully online here. Creates a map. Can sacrifice the map here. Draws a Fabled Passage too. Wow. Day of Judgment. Well, actually, Day of Judgment's great into the airship, right? Because I can just once they're fully online, I just Day of Judgment. So I guess I just play a Recorder here, hit them and pass. I guess what they could do is block a Gear Hulk. So maybe I don't do that because they could just block a Gear Hulk and then delay the full airships. Is that good? I don't know. Let's go ahead and hit them. Yeah, I don't know if it's good. They don't seem to think so. Just pass it. They're at 12. Sorry about that. They're at 12. Create a food. So they'll go back up to 15. We have the Day of Judgment, though. And we can keep things from getting super out of hand with the icebergs. Kind of a tricky spot. A lot of angles that they're attacking on. But if they sacrifice something here and turn on all the airships, then I just wipe the board. They know that. So what do? They just keep hitting me for 7. Don't sacrifice anything. And then eventually just they're out racing me. I could just, if they move to combat, I could Aang's Iceberg and scoop up to both of their attackers. I guess they just crew new ships. So maybe not. Cruise a ship. Hits me. I guess I just take this. I guess I just take this. Tricky spot. If I were them, I guess I wouldn't sacrifice anything. And they elect not to sacrifice anything. Let's go ahead and bring back a Fabled Passage here. Could be relevant. Get the Storm Soul back. He's big. Pretty big. Another Day of Judgment. That's kind of an interesting angle because they don't know that I have a second one. They might just think I'm ripping the first one, right? And they might commit to turning on their airships. And I get to keep them off of just like crewing them freely. They might have to commit more stuff. And I get to hold up an emergency Aang's Iceberg. So I guess I hit them. Cast this Day of Judgment. They block with the Sentinel here. Well, that throws things off. I'm kind of surprised they didn't just give up an airship. Does firing up the Bossing Say here make any sense? I can open up my mana quite a lot. Gosh, I really don't know. I guess I just pass. Continue to hold up the Aang's Iceberg, and then if nothing else happens, I can double fetch with the Fabled Passage, which gives me more options in the future. They sacrifice the food on my turn. They're scared of my big 7/7, but Not really sure why. Wicked Roll, Deep Cavern Bat. So the jig is up. They know about an extra Day of Judgment. Grip full of removal. Yeah, I don't know what you take here. I guess you take a Day of Judgment. No, they take an Iceberg. Fine. Start crewing up some airships. But can I just kill them next turn? I can just exile. Well, I guess I can't exile the Blooming Marsh, but they can't attack me, right? Okay, they commit to sacrificing something. So let's see if they misstep here. They've established they want the airships online, but if they tap their Blooming Marsh to crew an airship, I can keep them from turning on the airships from being fully online here. For those that don't know, I'll leave this up on the screen. They need to control 8, right? So if I Aang's Iceberg to eat both the Deep Cavern Bat and an airship, another Beseech the Mirror. Okay, what could that be? Another airship? Obsessive Pursuit. I don't think that's relevant. Unless they're just planning on swinging with a Blooming Marsh. Move to combat, okay. Swings with a Blooming Marsh. Huh. So now, I think I kill them anyway. They'll go to 15. I get to exile the Deep Cavern Bat, exile the airship, and then copy a Valgavoth's, or copy a Bossing Say. Do I have enough mana for that? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, activate. Yeah, I think they're just dead. Let's go for this now, so I don't fuck it up. Exile a blocker. Copy. Exile an airship. Now they can't crew the airship for blocks on their turn. Or on my turn. They go up to a cool 15. They make 3 more ships, but they're not online. They realize their mistake. Whew. Okay. Whew. Simply not enough. Wow. What do we want here? Pick your poison? Probably not. Probably not. Just kidding. Just kidding. Seems bad. I don't know. I guess I could hit an Obsessive Pursuit probably. Pretty reliably with Pick Your Poison. Insidious Fungus seems fine though. Probably good enough. Skip on the split ups. Get Lost. I don't want to give them maps. Sheltered by Ghosts. Maybe we just run it back. I don't know. I'm not sure. All right. On the draw. Seems like a good opener. A lot of options here. Probably just gonna see him rip this elf. Maybe not. This dies to Day of Judgment, but it also keeps them off of early Sentinel of the Nameless City. Also, they're a Badgermole Cub deck, which I kind of forgot. Tapped Overgrown Tomb. That's a good sign. Tactics. Okay. Takes a Gear Hulk. Draw an Insidious Fungus. I'm feeling kind of lucky. Let's go for the Esper Origins here. Try to surveil into another land. We do, but this one doesn't cast a Gear Hulk, actually. So I think we have to take the lair. Take the lair. It's going to give them perfect information. Or nearly perfect. They won't know about the fungus here. Hits me. Play a lair. Generally put it on white, I think. Do we play a fungus? Probably just better to hold it. In case we want a Day of Judgment here. Seems unlikely that they'll commit hard, knowing I have a Day of Judgment and knowing I have the land for it. But what do? Just kind of hang out if they have a handful of creatures, right? Probably not. If they do nothing, I just get to cast a Gear Hulk. Another Cub. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty enticed to Day of Judgment here. Just play like an Ouroboros, bro. Okay. All right. You love to draw the backup. You love to draw the backup in this situation because they always go like, oh, he committed the Doge. Okay, now I can commit to the board. I hear them calculating already. I can read their mind across the internet. Committed the Day of Judgment. Now I get to play out the Ouroboros, and maybe it just like left unchecked. It's gonna be insane. Leatherhead. Okay. Yeah, just Day of Judgment. I don't want to think about that too much. I guess I could have just played a Gear Hulk there maybe. Blocks it pretty well, but I think this makes sense to me. One card left in their hand. Just casts a Beseech the Mirror raw. Super expensive Demonic Tutor. Okay. I guess you can do that. I don't think I've ever seen anyone do this though, to be honest. No, nothing on the field to sacrifice. They don't have to reveal it. Is there anything we can kind of get them with here? Vis-a-vis Brightglass Gear Hulk. I guess what we probably do is cast the Gear Hulk, find another land. Let's get a Recorder. Let's get a Seam Rip maybe? Keep our options open. And then maybe we get them with the Fungus, copy the activation with the Recorder. I don't think they can win. 2 cards in hand. Maybe I'm wrong. They did just find the perfect answer, right? The perfect card last turn. But what could that be? And they draw a land. Okay, Earthbender Ascension. We haven't seen a whole lot of Earthbender Ascension this run, but it is pretty tight for us here. Just going to spend my turn doing this. We'll Earthbend the Valgavoth Slayer. Nice little hexproof beater. And we might as well copy the trigger. Opens up our mana quite a lot. Maybe I should have swung first, but feeling pretty cocky, feeling pretty confident. Flaunting my stuff on the runway. Is this like an urgent necropsy? Gotta be. Okay. It's fine. It's fine. Not great. Million mana. 2 counters on the Ascension here. Hexproof Guy. I mean, not a bad top deck for them, but not going to be enough. We have great answers in hand here. They blew up my Peter Parker's camera, which I'm a little sad about. Draws another land. Sorry, buddy. Well, fun run. Appreciate you sticking around with me for this, what turned out to be an hour and 45-minute recording. Crazy, man. Pretty sure there's not really anything they can do here. We hit another Gear Hulk off the Tizzop. Kind of nasty with it. Let's play out this Storm Soul. Pass it back to you. They can't block the Storm Soul. They scoop it up. 5-0. Back-to-back 5-0. Now, given 2 very different decks that I've done it with, but another fun run. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I had fun with it, even though it was, I'll admit, a little disjointed. Leaving and coming back and leaving and coming back. But still, managed to pull it out. I mean, 2-hour little commitment there. Playing this list into the traditional event, but pulled out the win. Looked good when we won. I don't think there were any games where it was just like, I got a top deck perfect and pull the win out of my ass. Like, this was just raw power, catching opponents off guard, a lot of Seam Rips, a lot of Gear Hulk action, which you know I love. Fun run. Very fun run. Let me know what you think about the list. It's one I've been kind of working on for a few months now. Tuning here and there, playing at F&M, so on and so forth. I like the inclusion of the Ice Till Esper Origins, ultimately. I think that's a really good inclusion. just by the fact that it gives you more card advantage. You're not just solely relying on, you're not solely relying on the Gear Hulk, and we're also not so in on that idea that we get absolutely ranched by Rest in Peace. Like, it's decent against us, but we only have like 6 graveyard relevant cards. You know what I mean? So we're kind of attacking on a lot of angles. A lot of good removal. Main deck Day of Judgment. I'm a believer in that. 5-0, another one. Yeah, appreciate you watching. Appreciate you sticking around. I'll be streaming on Friday, so this video is going to go up Friday. Yeah, so if you're watching this on the morning that I'm posting it, I'm planning on streaming today at 2 p.m. Eastern. Come out and join me for a live traditional standard event. We'll have a good time. I'll put a post up tomorrow as of the recording, so Thursday. You don't need to hear this, but go and vote. If you're interested in seeing what deck, choosing which deck I want to play, there will be a post in my channel, and you can vote on the deck that will be running for the traditional standard event. That's kind of what we've been doing so far. It seems fun. Let's do it again. Anywho, have a beautiful day, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.